go. Chavdalan and Beis, the Mishnah. Ha'isa sukkah. We do actually need a picture book, but let's just start. Ha'isa sukkasai bein ha'ilanais. You make a sukkah between the trees. V'ha'ilanais defanais la. Thank you very much. And the trees are the defanais, and the trees are the walls of your sukkah. What is the din? The din is kisheira. This is not something you really need a picture for. Awkward. It's not something you need a picture for, but just in case you wanted one, there you go. Inside your trees, you have a sukkah. Beautiful. Okay, for the visual learners amongst us, here we go. Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov. Says Rav Acha bar Yaakov. Hopefully this should sound a little familiar in concept. Kol mechitza, any mechitza, she'ena yechoila la'amoid, that is not able to stand beruach mitsuya, in a regular wind, ena mechitza. So the Gemara starts off with a statement that if I have a wall that cannot stand with a regular wind, it is not a mechitza. It's not a wall. I want everyone to peek.
1 second, I just have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. What are you sorry?
We were saying before.
Yeah.
2 blocks ago.
Good. Divrei
The
Yaakov.
sukkah that is with an elon that has.
Good.
There's a problem with Shabbos.
Good.
Right?
Oh, very good, very good. So let's speak it out. Rav Shashi's asking that if you go back to our Mishnah Chav Beis and Beis, it said Ha'isa Sukasa Breisha Gala Breisha Svina, but then it said Breisha Elon. It's kosher, but you can't go up on Yantif. The case at that point we pointed out was a machlekes whether the tree was a support or whether the tree was the wall, was the actual wall. Taisus learned the tree was the wall, whereas Rashi learned the tree was a support. Over there, the Mishnah taught us it is kosher, but you can't go up on it on Yantif. So asks the question, 1 second. Over there, it says it's kosher, you can't go up on a Yantif. Over here, what does our Mishnah say? Our Mishnah says ksheira. So what's the answer? What's the answer now that I'm thinking about it together? What's the answer? Oh, very good. To utilize the wall as the sukkah, that wasn't a problem. Because what was the din before in Chav Beis and Beis? The din was, it's kosher, but it was on top of the wall. So the issue was you're climbing onto the wall, you're using the wall, l'chayra. So if you tell us the wall itself, good question.
No, even according to Toysus, it just went continuously. Yeah,
right.
Continuous.
Right, it was both l'chayra.
Yeah.
L'chayra, you have to say that. I like the question. I'm sure someone speaks out something, but very good. Let's continue. So what does Rav Acha bar Yaakov teach us? If the mechitza cannot stand with a regular wind, it's not a mechitza. Look at Rashi, because Rashi here is a little bit graphic. Rashi says, what does it mean? It's not able to stand beruach mitzuya. Shaharuach moilicha umevia. And when I translate, that can't stand with the normal wind, what do I translate? That the wind blows it away, like we learned previously. Here, Rashi's not saying that. Rashi's saying that what does it mean? It means that the wind, the ruach, moilicha umevia, comes back and forth. What Rashi is teaching us is because here there's no question if the tree's going to blow away. The question is the tree stationary? Says the Gemara, if the mechitza cannot withstand a regular wind, it's not a good mechitza. What does that mean? So far we have the words of Rashi that says that it's going and coming. Moilicha umevia. Now, that wasn't a very overly descriptive. It just taught us a little bit, but we really need a little bit more to understand what exactly it means. Mirz Hashem, we'll get there. Says the Gemara, Tanan, we learned in a Mishnah. Baruch atah Adonai Yelinu Malchalim Sha'akol Niyah B'Dorei. Ha'isa Sukasai Bein Ha'yilanos. You made a sukkah between the trees. V'Ha'yilanos Defanei Law. This is our Mishnah. And the trees are its walls. Kisheira. Asks the Gemara, 1 second. Rav Acha bar Yaakov just taught us that if I have a mechitza that can't stand still, what's the din? It's not a good mechitza, but our Mishnah said a tree could yes be a mechitza. Seemingly every tree moves a little bit. Asks the Gemara, v'ka'azil v'asi, but the tree is coming and going. So why in our Mishnah does it say kosher? Answers the Gemara, hacha b'mayaskinon. Here in our Mishnah, what are we dealing with? Bekashin. We're dealing with kashin. What is kashin? So it means thick. Rashi says, how do you get a thick tree? Rashi gives us a little bit of a agriculture lesson. It's an old tree. An old tree is a thick tree. Ilana zikenim that are old, va'avim and thick. So since it's an old tree, it doesn't move. Says the Gemara. 1 second. The trunk stands still, but every tree has branches. Even an old tree has branches. Asks the Gemara, 1 second. What about the branches? The branches move. And the branches move. I don't want to make things complicated. The branches move, very simply. And if we were to utilize this picture over here, you see, this is obviously the simple way of learning it, is that the branches are a very integral ingredient in your sukkah. Because without the branches, you would have no walls. Very simple. So ask the Gemara, very good that your tree, look over here, very good that your tree is nice and large trunk, but the branches move. So you have no walls of your sukkah. Answers the Gemara, an answer that we should be a little bit familiar with. Da'avid lei behutza v'dafna. Who remembers when we had hutza v'dafna? Mm-hmm. Very good. It means you take sticks and whatnot, and you put it in between. We had this by the cow's legs. We asked that the cow's legs are a hole in your wall of your sukkah. So we said you make hutza v'dafna. So what are they doing in this picture?
No, they tie it.
Yeah, okay, geschmack.
So they make sure it doesn't move.
Yeah, okay, this is quite the picture. Okay, Chavra, you're going to have to look carefully for this one. 1 second, there you go. I'm going to make it nice and close. Basically, you're weaving the branches of your tree with other branches to make it nice and thick. Very geschmack. That you make with it, basically you weave a wall. Says the Gemara, when you have such a good answer, what happens now? It's pashit. Iyachi, if that's true, ma'ile memra. What's the chiddush? What did you just do? You basically just built a wall. You had a tree, but then you went and you wove between the tree, between the branches, you wove other sticks and whatnot. So for all intents and purposes, you took out bricks and you built a wall. What's the chiddush that I have a sukkah in the tree? The tree's there, but the branches are now woven with other items. Shkayach. Answers the Gemara. And now this is going to pull full circle of Shashi or Shaila. Ma'u detema. You know what the Havamina was? The Havamina was the Mishnah on Chav Beis and Beis. The Havamina was that we learned about making a sukkah on a tree, and it was not good, or you couldn't go up in it on sukkahs. Ma'u detema nigzar. We should make a gezerah. We should aser it up. Midrabanan. Why? Dilma asi lishta mushe be'ilan. The same derabanan that disallows the tree from being the base. That what? You might come to use the tree. Kamash malan. That even though the tree is an integral ingredient in your sukkah, lamaisa, it is kosher. Lamaisa, it is kosher. So that is the chiddush of our Mishnah. That is the chiddush of our Mishnah. Yes. Yeah, let's hear.
That in order for it to be kosher, you still can't use a tree on Shabbos or Yom Tov. So in order for it to be kosher,
good.
The stock has to be resting on something else.
Oh, very good. Very good, very good. Meaning, they're pointing, who are they quoting? Who are they quoting?
Rashi, according to the Magen Avram.
Good. 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 So the detail that Rav Kogas is bringing up is that where are the schach? Where are the schach? This is something that we don't really talk about because the Gemara doesn't get involved in it. Rashi mentions one word, and that's why I wanted to keep it simple. Rashi in the Mishnah says, Beina Yilanais, V'loi Samcha Alein. It's a little bit cryptic, but what they're pointing out is, which of course our beautiful picture book took into account, is that the schach is not the tree itself. If the schach was the tree itself, you'd have an issue. But as you see over here, maybe when you looked at the picture the first time, you were wondering, why do they build this interesting way? And that's the reason. It's because the schach has to be its own entity. If the schach were not its own entity, you'd have a separate issue.
But furthermore, it has to be supported by something other than the tree.
Correct, right. So, yeah, I'll show you 1 second. That's why they build a frame for. Oh, very good. I'm sorry. That's what I was saying. They build a separate frame for the schach because if the schach was on the tree, then you are using the tree.
Start wondering, what did they do this?
Exactly. There you go. So good. Let's. Where are we holding? We're at 11 minutes in. 1 second. Okay, we're gonna read one more line. I want to take a poll afterwards regarding peace, but let's just read one more kasha. Tashema hayusham ilana geder. If there was there, what is there? This is a case that we already mentioned once in passing. Now we mentioned a second time in passing, and again we allow the picture book to tell the stories. This is something called pasei bira'os. This is a well. I want to turn this so they can see it as I show it to them. This is I can't see what I'm doing. This is a well, and around the well you make these 4 half walls. And now, what if one of your half walls is not a wall? It's an Elon or a Geder. It's a different entity. So now, Tashema, Hayusham, Elon, Oy Geder. If there was a tree, or Geder literally is a wall or a block. A block is what it's referring to over here. As you see, the next picture shows you a Geder, which is a block. Oy Mechitzas Akanim, I'll show you the pictures in a moment. Oy Mechitzas Akanim, or some reeds. Nidain. So these we'll give a job more back in a minute. Nidain Mishum Diyumad. It has a din of a Diyumad. So let's use this picture and we'll give a job of background. And with this, we're going to call it a day. What's going on over here is this is a well that when people went up to Eretz Yisrael, they needed something to drink. Problem is, you can't carry from inside the well to out to the well.
On Shabbos?
On Shabbos, yes, I'm sorry. And therefore, they made these 4 fake mechitzas around it, and la halacha was considered like a mechitza, which thereby allowed you to carry and to drink from the well. So now the question is, you didn't make 4.
Didn't we have this question with the cow?
Very good. That's where we said, very good. That's the time that we mentioned once in passing. This is number 2. Then now you have what? This is the block. This is the tree as the 4th corner. Or as the 4th corner, you have this, which is a bunch of reeds. Bunch of reeds as the 4th corner. So what's the story with all these items? Says the Braisa, Nidan Misham Diyumad. It has a din of a Diyumad. It has a din of a corner. And the question of the Gemara is, it moves. The same question. If I have this tree sitting there, you just taught me anytime a tree flaps in the wind, it's not good. And everyone is wondering, and this is the big discussion, or canvas, because it's it flaps in the wind. So you just told me if the tree moves in the wind, it's not good. So why is this allowed to be called a diyumad, called a corner piece, called a mechitza? Answers the Gemara the same answer. Hasanami misham da'avile behutza v'dafna. Again, what did you do? You wove between the branches in order to make it that it is a firm wall. So basically, what we have today is one din. The din is you're allowed to make a sukkah in trees. And the question, and from there we learn din number 2, which is that if your wall moves too much, it's not a wall. So how could the tree be the wall? The tree is the wall if you wove between it. What's the chiddush? The chiddush is that you would have thought there's a gezerah derabanan, just like you can't use a tree. Kamash Malan is the chiddush that it's going to be a good wall, and we do not make such a gzeira dira banan.